All right, so today is going to be a really fun day. You may be noticing that there are some slight changes here with this video. I will share that a little later, but it's a great day. We're going to be talking about something that salespeople go through, and entrepreneurs go through this as well. Different people who are trying to develop their relationships through social media, but even if you're selling anything, if you're trying to create revenue or generate revenue, if you're trying to close more sales. Today we have a sales professional with us, Mike Parus, and he's going to show us how to close more sales with better discovery questions. So that being said, Mike Parus, everybody.
Hey Travis, how's it going?
I'm telling you, man. I think that book back there. I always have more just in case people want to see. But I think that book was like, Mike Parus is coming. The win from you coming in to this video.
It's fine. The book didn't want to be read anyway.
Oh, it wants to be read. It wants to be read. So thank you so much for joining us today. For those who may be new to this channel, my name is Travis Patterson. I'm an interview coach, resume writer. And if you are noticing me wearing this brand new shirt, it is because I'm introducing to you a new company called Hire AE. It is a sales database for SAS professionals. More so, this is a place where you can get a job, you can get hired, and also get interview coaching and sales training. So you can better improve your sales and show up with more confidence in your interview. So with that being said, Mike Parus he actually is a friend of mine. I know folks will say, oh, we've been friends for so long. Like, no, this dude's he's a good guy. He's helped me. When we first connected, we were working together in a SAS company, Career Builder, and we were learning each other in ways that we can help each other and help our team. This guy was so good. Just segue. I had just came from Uber. If you guys have seen that movie on Apple, is it Apple? No, it's Showtime. Super Pumped. They're talking about what happened, what went down with Apple. With Uber, and I was there during that time. So that was my real first true introduction into SAS. Everything came down the way it did in that show. I'm pretty sure you can Google it. Everything happened the way it did, and then I came to Career Builder. I was like, look, this is where I want to be. This is where I'm going. Met Mike Parus. He showed me better ways of doing exactly what we're doing today. He was like, Travis, okay, you're getting them on the phone. You have no problem with that. But when you get them on the phone, what are you talking about? So in a cubicle area, you can hear everybody's conversation. People get all excited. If you ever seen The Wolf on Wall Street or any other movie, when you have salespeople all in one boiler room or area, and you just hear so much conversation, and it's just like that in real life. So I'm gonna let Mike introduce himself. He is the one that helped me develop my SAS sales with Career Builder and overall just within the SAS environment. Because of the things that he taught me, I was able to collectively in my SAS career thus far, including other employers and total employers, I would say, I've been able to close just under $500,000 in SAS sales, again, combined. At Career Builder, that was just me getting my feet wet and learning. During the pandemic, I sold 113%. Coming off of being furloughed because of the stuff this guy is taught. So, Mike Parus, please introduce yourself. I know I fanned the flame, man. You're a great guy. Let people know who you are and introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, hi everyone. Again, thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, no, I what Travis said is completely 100% accurate. I did teach him everything he knows. Um, but no, I'm now a online fitness and health coach. I had a lot of years in the SaaS world as well, and then I also had a lot more years in the fitness industry. And so now I kind of combined the two, and doing that for a living now. And no, it's just like Travis was saying in regards to, pardon me, specializing or being specific towards sales, or not sales, software or SaaS, but all the sales stuff that we talk about or go over, it's very interesting because it just carries over to honestly any industry that you're in.
Yeah. And I know the importance of really good discovery questions.
Hmm.
I never knew what discovery questions were really. I knew that, of course, being a consultant or approaching sales in a consultative way, it changed the way you. So prior SaaS sales in before selling cars, I was in Walmart. I remember I was in Walmart and learning how to sell. I learned nothing. And this is nothing against Walmart, but from the consumer's standpoint, anyone who is going into Walmart automatically notice a difference. They should notice a difference between how the salespeople or associates are connecting with you in comparisons to how they are at Target or how they are at Best Buy. They have better questions. They have better insight. They're actually approaching you. That's the beginning of the consultant, because they're asking based on what your real needs are, so that they can give you exactly what you need. They're essentially asking what are your pain points. In Walmart, there's so many different things. There's a million products in there, or more, 2 million. But in small stores that are very niche, like Best Buy, and I know if you are an SDR, you're a sales development rep, or even a business development rep, you probably have a foundation coming from an entry level sales position like retail, or you might have been fortunate enough to go directly into SaaS. Uh, but you learn better questions to ask so you can give the better support that they need. And oftentimes, I know in my own experience in Best Buy, in Walmart, I mean, somebody buy something for me, it was $23 they're going to walk out with as far as product. But at Best Buy, it can be $2,300. So $2,300 based on a couple questions. Okay, you're going to need this, you're going to need that. If you're looking for audio, you're going to need this. And I thought that was going to be enough. And I did use some of that intel at Uber, but meeting Mike Parus, okay, I was like, okay, I know nothing. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So discovery questions. What are discovery questions?
How would I describe them? Discovery questions are basically, for me, the thing that get a conversation started that lead a person or lead you to better understand the person that you're dealing with. And that person may be solely focused on the business. It may be solely focused on themselves, depending on what you're saying. But there are things that are geared towards to start at the surface and then dig a little deeper to get to what you actually need to know to find out if what.
Sorry, you're frozen a little bit.
Hear me?
Okay, he's back.
Perfect.
So yeah.
So discovery questions are questions that start at the surface that allow you to essentially start digging down and finding out what that person actually needs. Like what question for them are you solving or giving them the answer to in terms of pain? Like what pain are you relieving? What annoyance are you able to help with? What problem are you able to solve? And so that's essentially the start of what discovery questions are. It can start off with, hey, how's your day going? And it can lead to, from there, I mean, I don't want to say a downward spiral because that sounds bad. I guess like an upward spiral then to things that get you to know the person a whole lot better, but also know what they're looking for, what they actually need a whole lot better.
For sure. And I remember the first time I had my real encounter with discovery questions, and this is before I started working at Career Builder. I just didn't know what they were. There was a guy named Rob, or I think it goes by Rob Fajardo. He's like in Forbes and Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur magazine, and he saw me online on Facebook. We've always, connected because of our different ways of approaching on social media, but he was light years ahead of me. And he got me on the phone one day and he was like, hey, Travis, I need your help. I want to understand a little bit more about what your goals are. I'm thinking like, this is going to be him talking, to me about, again, like a proper sales conversation, I was talking probably 80% of the time.
Yeah, 80-20.
And he's like breaking down what my pain points are. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? What's your real goal? Who are you helping? Why do you want to help them? And essentially it's the rule of like 7 whys or 8 whys, why, and getting down to that real true foundation. There was a book he recommended to me, and I cannot think what it's called at all, but it essentially helped me understand the purpose of what he was doing. But he wanted me to my understanding, yeah, he wanted to sell me something eventually, but he also wanted to partner with me and help sell his services and his products, his digital products. And it honestly, it changed the way I thought, because from that point, I started noticing the difference. So just so, you guys are understanding, what we're talking about here, these are discovery questions. And you may be in SAS, you may be in you may be selling cars, you may be in retail, you may be new to being an SDR, you may be a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, whatever your business is, you can be a life coach, a fitness coach, a health coach, like whatever you are. You can be an author, learning to ask the right questions for a speaking engagement, so you can be paid what you feel is fair. There's so many different ways to use these questions, and what I learned from that point is, one, how to identify when I'm being asked discovery questions, and 2, to take notes of what they're asking me, but why are they asking me these things in the process, so I can better understand. There was a program I spent $6,000 for, and I was like, I never spent that much money on anything, but the discovery questions were so eye-opening. Traditionally, $100 product, nobody's going to ask you discovery question. I mean, not unless it is going to be a product that's going to keep supporting you over and over and over, just to make sure it's a good fit. But and when I can get that book name, I'll make sure to share it with you guys. But there was a lot of intel in that book. I'll make sure I share it. But the discovery questions that this program, because you should always have mentors, right? If you want to better yourself, you should always, like, I'm a mentor, but I appreciate mentors that have mentors, because it lets me know that they're still growing, they're still expanding. But they were able to help me directly with my pain point. I was like, okay, I definitely need to get into this program, because it's going to help me exactly with where I want to be. There's different things I've jumped into where, and I say jumped into, but I willingly went into and I purchased their programs because I knew it was going to help me. I wanted to learn how to get on TV. Took a course. That weekend, I got on TV, and in a whole nother state. It was like, I think, Washington, and which is on my YouTube channel. If you guys have not seen it just yet, that interview, I'm wearing my blue suit, so definitely check it out. But this is a huge network, and that same weekend, like that went live, and I was able to make money based on that video. I made that money back 8 times over that week because of that interview. I was like, okay, I see the importance of investing in myself now. But if it wasn't for the discovery questions that I learned, I was like, okay, yeah, this program worked. What other programs are out there that can help me actually reach my goal? So what are some Well, essentially, so next question I have for you is, what are the importance of discovery questions as a sales professional? I know you did share like, okay, these are like, this is what discovery question is. This is why you want to ask. Um, what's really important? I mean, because you kind of meant it. You kind of hit on it a little bit, saying that depending on how you start, it will essentially decide where you're gonna go. So, give me an example. Bad discovery, like a direction of bad discovery questions or good discovery questions. What's the destination?
Well, the thing to look at it is with discovery questions, like you said, like what's the destination is don't look at it like you're trying to get to a destination.
Yeah.
Think of it as the journey you have to take with these questions. And the faster you use questions that can end that journey, the faster you're not going to get a sale or the conversation is going to be over. So you want to be having questions or using questions that allow the conversation to continue, but also dive a little deeper into what it is that they actually want. So, I mean, it can be as simple as tell me more, why, things like that. Or it could be as complicated as depending on what aspect or what you're selling, pardon me. It's just a matter of how can I figure out what this person is truly needing. And it starts off with simple surface questions. How's your day going? What's the weather like over there? And it can be like dig down into like, okay, well, this person down the hall from me is screaming all the time and this is causing issues, and like getting them to essentially open up to you and be comfortable with you to let them know what it is that they are looking for. And lots of times it can be related to your product that you're trying to pitch them, and lots of times it can't be. But knowing how or listening to how you can maybe use that to your advantage is how to really get the most benefit out of discovery questions.
And that's good. And that's honest. What are some discovery questions? And you did say like, okay, what do you expect from it? It's not the destination you really want to get to, but you want to understand their journey. Like, what are some actual discovery questions? And let's say it is from the perspective of SAS.
Okay. So in my previous role where I was at a SaaS company, one of the things was, well, on the call with someone, it was already a scheduled call. Like it was a set time. The other person knew I was going to have the conversation with them. And if you can get to that point, that is, in my opinion, like the best way to go about it. So if you can figure out ways either to have people raise their hand or just have a scheduled time on the phone with someone, is much better than a cold call. Like if you're cold calling people trying to essentially sell them on that call, you're most likely not going to succeed. So again, the purpose of a cold call should be just to find or create a time with that person to be able to dive deeper into that person's needs. So if you can do that, then I would then say start using discovery questions on the scheduled call. So once you have that, an example would be like if I'm talking to someone and I'm asking how their day is, and they're like, "Oh, it's busy. It's so hectic right now," and you could be like, "Oh, okay, well, I won't." I would say a poor discovery question would be, "Okay, I won't take much of your time. I'll just do this." Whereas another way you could go about that is, "Oh, what's going on? Like, what's got you so busy right now?" And they're like, "Well, I have this, and this," and it's like, "Well, is that a common occurrence for you? Is that something that you have to deal with regularly?" And they start going, "Yes." "Oh, like they are constantly throwing stuff at this, or throwing me at this, or I have to do this, or all these things are being scheduled and then canceled, and it's so hectic." And it's like, okay, what is it about that actually is making you so confusing? Like, do you guys not have any kind of systems in place, or like for you, like what is it that is taking up so much time? And they'll start going into that, and essentially like trying to figure out what it is that you can help with. So for example, in the last SaaS company I was at, I was trying to sell HR solutions. And so I was usually talking to like HR managers, and even if it wasn't related to HR specifically, I was trying to figure out what was taking up the most time in their day. Like what was the thing that was really making them pull their hair out? And so I was trying to do that. So even if it allowed me to, or pardon me, took me off topic, I would still allow that journey to happen, because you never know, like you may actually have a solution or a way to tie that back in. And if you can do that, then you can essentially continue the conversation and turn it into something that may be beneficial for the both of you.
So essentially, the reason why you're asking about, their time is because you're looking to sell on a product that could save them time. Is that fair to say?
Depending on what you're trying to do, yeah, absolutely. Like one of the in the HR world, one of the things was we just don't have time to do this, and I was like, okay. So I would try to figure out what it was that we could offer or how our product worked to be able to offer the solutions that HR managers would actually need.
Yeah.
And honestly, like something that would be extremely beneficial on top of the discovery questions is make sure you actually know your product extremely well. Lots of big companies or even medium-sized companies have like customer success managers or client support. Honestly, like having a great conversation with those people, learning about like, all right, the people that have already purchased our product, what is the biggest complaint that they have about it? What is the thing that they are calling you up that they are getting headaches about? And so that way, when you are talking to the person, not only does it allow you to give proper expectations of what they can expect to go into, but you can also maybe talk them around it or talk them through something so that when they're dealing with it, they understand maybe a better way to go about doing it, or maybe they are unfamiliar with how to use it and you can go over with that over the phone. Like it's so simple to use because you can do it this way or this way or this way. Whereas if you didn't have that conversation, you're kind of just throwing them in the deep end, and then all of a sudden they're getting mad because they don't understand the product that well.
So the name of that book that I was recommended to listen to or read was Spin Selling by Neil Rackham or Rackham. Spin selling, situation, problem, implication, need, payoff, which is the acronym SPIN. And I'll make sure to put that here so people can see it and get it. But it definitely challenged me, I would say, to think deeper about what I'm asking and just drilling down on what's actually going to help the person that I'm calling, because it is a person on the other end of that phone. Yeah, they represent a company in a business or a whole department. Sometimes they may just represent a whole industry, and you may have the solution that they've never heard of before. I was speaking to an account executive, being an account executive, but also being on the HR side, where I'm recruiting, or I'm the head of recruiting, or I'm HR generalist. I love when I can see other folks trying to sell me. At the same time, I'm like, they don't know who they're dealing with. I'm gonna listen to them. But then there's some people who's like, wow, that was really good. How much is that?
Sorry, just thought of this as well. The other thing that I really like about discovery questions, especially if you are not selling to an individual person, is they allow you to figure out, or they should allow you to figure out, who actually needs to be involved with this conversation. You want to use those questions, especially to kind of like dive in or dig a little deeper in regards to, all right, is this the right person to be speaking with? Is this one of many people that I need to be speaking with? And then kind of use that to ease into a different conversation. Okay, so if I'm talking with someone that is, if it was an HR, usually the HR manager was the one that kind of usually had the power to say yes or no. But if you're talking to someone under them or someone that worked just alongside of them, then you could use from the questions, well, all right, if you are having a hectic time, it's like, oh, okay, how many people like are you guys dealing with or managing? Oh, well, I'm managing this people, and I gotta keep reporting to this person, and then okay, well, what's that person's name? Okay, well, if it's this person, could this be beneficial to have them on a call as well? And it sounds like, okay, well, that might just end the conversation right there, but like that's okay, because if it does, then most likely that's not the person you'll be talking to. You want to make sure that the time you are putting into it.
I think it's frozen a little bit.
You have me back?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. you just want to make sure the way to look at it is wasting time or wasting your time or their time. You just want to make sure that you are providing the value you have to all of the people that need it.
100%. Man, that's good. And I was thinking of different questions that, and I want to thank you too, man. Like I know, you and I, we started as coworkers, and we've been able to, support each other in just different things, personal, professional. Mike is a dad, a good dad, and a husband. And I've been able to, experience this guy, go from being dating to engaged to married, to just expanding in his life, and he's been doing, I feel like, the same, for me. So I appreciate you for, one, being my friend, but also just taking the time to grow with me and help me experience and give me some of those life lessons that you have as a dad. Because who knows, I may be, a dad soon, as I am, married now just over a year. So SAS Questions, and you really, you've given so much. You've already given so much, and I definitely appreciate it. Something that you hit on that was like really good. It made me think about some questions that you and I used to go over, and it challenged me to really think a little deeper about it. So, what current processes are you using? What are the main obstacles to these goals when it comes to the area that relates to that product?
And then also, don't be afraid to ask them, like, all right, what are you guys currently using? And you're like, okay, using this. All right, what do you like about it? And let them go into that. Okay, what don't you like about it? Or what do you wish it did?
Yeah.
And then the other thing too is, like, don't be scared of questions. Like, for example, the one that most people, at least in that industry, were always scared to ask was like, all right, well, what are you paying for that? And it's like, you want to know what that is, because they could be like, well, we're only paying $1,000 for it, or we're paying $25,000 for it. And based on what you can tell them, or it gives you a better understanding of what the company has to work with, what you have to work with, and what solutions you can actually provide them. So best advice is, like, if you have a question in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, I can't ask them. Those are the questions you probably should be asking.
Those are the questions you should. Man, I remember you said it to me almost word from word, because I was so nervous to ask, like, yeah, so how much you pay for that? Yeah. And of course I didn't, word it exactly like that, but asking that, it also, what are you getting from that response? You're going to learn what their budget is, at least what that they will spend for a solution. Now, is it a better solution? That is yet to be told. But there are so many different types of discovery questions. You got your inbound questions, you got your outbound questions. If you are an inbound salesperson, you're an outbound salesperson, which is the difference between a sales development rep, which is an outbound sales rep, who is top of funnel, bringing them in. And of course, you got your inbound, which are business development reps. The lead comes in, now you're warming it up, and now you're going to present it over to your account executive. Now, every organization doesn't have that structure. If you can be an account executive in an organization, and you are also your own sales development rep, you are also your own business development rep, you are also your own closer, you are also your own negotiator. And there's so many different processes and steps when it comes to selling. Don't get overwhelmed with it, because you're probably already good at parts of it. You just don't know what they are. I'm going to be sharing some resources with people who want to improve their sales and at least understand what are the different processes that could help you. But for the sake of this conversation, I am going to share some discovery questions that I've used. I know that, this is actually some of the notes I remember taking from you. And this was years ago. This is what, 2020, 21, 19, I think 2020.
Sounds about right.
So he's say, like, if you want to understand timeline, he was like, so I feel like I'm on the phone with, like, Michael Jordan, and it's like, yeah, so this is how you shoot a ball. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, he's the one. So if you want to understand timeline, when would you expect to see those types of results? So you're asking you ask these questions toward the end, like you understanding the pain points, you understanding where they want to go, what type of solution they're looking for. When do you expect to see those types of results? Is it how soon? So now you understand how soon do you want to get into this new solution? Why is this a priority to you? Why now? Why not last quarter? Why not last year? What are the must-have features of a solution? And Mike shared that as well just now, saying, what do you wish your current product actually do for you now? Like, what if you had everything you wanted, what would it do? So now it's giving you the ammunition to discover, or at least to share your product that you're selling, your SaaS product or whatever the product is. It might have a whole 30, 40, 50 items that it actually does. It might be a total end-to-end solution for whatever your industry needs, but they don't care about everything. They care about this or that. These things.
Yeah. The other thing I would say is, in regards to that point, because it becomes very easy, especially like depending on the type of call you have, to either just be someone that gives a demo, like, okay, well, let me just show you all it has to offer, versus like, all right, what is important to you for this to have? And I still remember this one, like this was a great tip that I got in my last position. And this one, like it literally, I want to say like it blew my mind, but I had never thought about it until it happened.
Yeah.
And one of the things was, the last sales job I had was directly to the business itself. And so I was trying to make their job easier with the clients they already had.
Right.
And so it was like, okay, well, who's your top client? And you would ask them that question. And then they answer, it'd be like, all right, so a great way to then lead into that was, okay, how'd you go about getting that client? And they'll like, oh, well, it was this, this, and this. And it's like, okay, like, what is it about this client that makes them your top client? And it could be as simple as like, well, they just have a great relationship with us, the amount of money they're spending, some of those lines. But then something you can do on top of that is when you go to talk about or demo your product, walk that demo through as if it was like that customer was going through it. Like, okay, this is how you get this customer. And then you could use this to show your current clients, your current customers, what you're trying to do or how you can better their solution, stuff along those lines. So say you were a project manager and this was a project management solution. You would take client X and you could put them in this pipeline and then move them along here and do this. And then it could automatically do something, like anything along those lines, but you want to paint this picture as clear for the other person as best you can.
That's good. That's good. I better write that down. That is so good.
Same way if it's an individual, like you want the other person to be able to see the outcome. And so if that's that actual person, paint the picture so that they're the one on the outcome. If that is, the ideal client, paint it so that they can see their ideal client with it. You want it as clear of a picture for the person as you can.
Man, clarity. I feel like clarity has been the buzzword for me all year. People said those, year resolutions. And for me, it's like, okay, how can I provide more clarity in what I'm communicating, what I need, from my wife, from my job, from my business, from my teammates, my employees, like, how can I communicate more clarity? How can I be more clear? How can I receive clarity? How can I be more precise now that I have this clarity? And even in the interview, that question, I feel like like a job interview, I feel like that question could be helpful. A lot of people don't realize, the similarities between the sales process and the interview process. There's so many different similarities. What would you do if you had the answers to the interview questions and you knew that later on that you're going to use those answers to get where you want to go, because you already know what their main pain points are? one question I love to ask during the interview process that you can also use during the sales process is, what's the main metric? So I'm going to use it both ways.
Mhm.
What's the main metric your team uses to track success?
Mhm.
If you found the right solution, what would the effect be using that metric?
The other
So
thing you could do is that exact example I gave you. Ask the interviewer, all right, who's your top person? And they tell you, okay, well, what is it about this person that puts him above the rest? And then they give you their reasons, and then you know exactly what they're looking for.
exactly. And now in the interview process, you can use the same platform. You should always have minimum three questions you're going to ask during an interview. Minimum. Have as many as you want, but the idea is to get the interviewer to talk more.
Mhm.
What you say, 80,
80-20.
80-20,
80-20.
which means you get them to speak 80% of the time, and you're asking questions 20% of the time. You're not talking the whole time. You're getting them to talk. So in the job interview, you're in sales. How do you measure success in this department? How do you measure success in this industry?
The other thing, like, well, I always remember this specifically from interviews as well, that especially like, because most of the time people that are interviewing for a job, it's more they need the job versus like they're just interviewing for a job.
Yeah.
And the big thing to remember is you have value as well. And so don't be afraid for them to show you that they have value too. Like, what would benefit both sides of this? Because if it's not a good company or you feel like it's not a good fit, then you shouldn't be working there. They should be trying to, I don't want to say sell you, but they should be trying to earn your trust about the company just as much as you are trying to provide them value that you would offer as well.
1,000%. I couldn't agree more. There's a lot of people who are going to be trying to, look into more sales jobs and work from home. I'm going to be giving away a laptop, a 17-inch Acer high definition screen, huge keyboard, CD drive, and it's going to help someone. Of course, it's Wi-Fi capable. It's going to help somebody get a work from home job so that they can hit more sales or even be an account manager or success, like however way that work from home position may work for you. All you have to do is subscribe to this channel, comment below what Mike Parus has said to you that has resonated with you. If there's anything that has been shared that has really kind of hit home for you, definitely share those things. Make sure you connect with him as well. His Facebook is facebook.com/Michael.Parus. So if you just type Mike Parus, you see a strong guy, big guy, muscles, in his in his profile. If you're on LinkedIn, that's mine. You're not going to see. If you type his name, you're not going to see the same thing. If you type in Michael Parus, you will see him there as well. I think it's actually, are you Michael Parus or Mike Parus on LinkedIn?
Michael.
Okay, you'll find him there as well. You'll see this handsome guy, there. So definitely take advantage of his mind, pick his brain. He'll make himself available to you. He is a business owner. He is an entrepreneur. He is a coach when it comes to fitness and health, but also he's a sales professional underneath it all. So if he can help you, please do reach out to him. Connect with me as well. Essentially, we want to make sure that you are taking the next steps to be successful in your goal, in your journey. And if you're looking to close more sales with better discovery questions, then this is the video. Share it with a friend and let them get insight as well. And practice between you and your coworker, you and a colleague, some of these questions, and try to understand, what are you getting from these questions? What are the points, the main reasons why you want to ask these questions? What are you looking to receive from this? And more importantly, how can you use this answer later to help you close the gap between where you are and where you want to be in your goal when it comes to getting that signed agreement or that close or that credit card number, whatever it is, that bank account, however way you close deals.
That relationship.
That part. Look, he's still teaching. And that is super important, that relationship. So if there's Anything else that we can do, please do let us know. Mike, is there anything that you're working on that you'd like to share with people so that they know how to connect with you?
Just based on the links that you sent there, I mean, like you said, now an online health and fitness coach. My main market is I help dads that are 35 plus lose about 20 to 30 pounds without giving up the foods they love or living in the gym. So if anyone has any questions about that, feel free to hit me up. Or like you said, any questions just about the sales process. I've grown to really, really enjoy it over time, because before it used to be something I dread, but it was just because it wasn't my process. It was what everyone else told me I should be doing or could be doing. It was not the process I wanted to follow. And so once you find the process for yourself, the one that works, the one that makes the most sense.
Frozen a little bit.
Getting there.
All right, here you back.
Once you are able to get past that, it's no longer like essentially a sales process. It's how am I providing value, or how can I provide value? And then it becomes a much more, well, for me at least, a much more enjoyable journey.
I'm going to put a link here in the description if you're looking for some examples of discovery questions, and even looking how to form discovery questions in your industry and according to the product that you're selling. So real quick, before we do go, I do want to let you guys know that if you've been looking for a way to increase your SAS salary, especially as a salesperson, if you are in a revenue generating role, I have something for you. I'm giving away the secrets. I've been holding on to them, and it's time for me to let other people know how to increase your sales salary by $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 easily within 30 days. And if you're looking for any proof of it, you can check out some testimonials. I have videos, proof where resume clients have taken the exact same secrets, the exact same techniques to increase their salary by $10,000, $20,000. Just had a client increase their salary by $40,000, just switching from being an account executive, standard base, to being an enterprise account executive, $50,000, same thing. So I'm going to share that data with you, but more important, I'm going to make sure that you have the help that you need to be successful. Mike Parus, thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll look forward to connecting with you again. Thank you so much, sir. Have a great one. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe, give away a laptop, and you want to make sure that you're not missing content. We're going to be sharing content every week to make sure that you are getting the best insight for your career, for your sales career, for your SaaS career. And if there's anything that you're looking for specifically, drop it in the comments, or even connect with me on TravisCPatterson.com or hireae.com or hireaccountexecutives.com, which is where you'll get access to the SaaS salary secrets here this week. So talk soon.